For Brittany Aanderud, scoring goals like this started at an early age.
Well, I started when I was 4.
That's gold.
And I just loved it. It's all I wanted to do is play soccer.
In fact, her whole family played, and her father, Stephen, was the coach.
I'd be out there 3-4 times a week just training with him, and if I didn't get it right, I definitely heard about it. A lot of parents actually would come up to me or come up to him and be like, gosh, your dad's so hard on you.
You guys gotta win that ball!
I knew that he wanted my best, and he wanted me to be the best, and he just cared for me so much, so he wasn't gonna let me fail. And I'm actually so thankful for it.
When this California native left for college in the fall of 2012, the soccer advice would of course follow after every match.
He was the first person always to call, and he would just break it down with me, what I did wrong, what I did right, what he would like to see me do better in the next game.
Then in November of 2013, at the Women's Big South Soccer Championships, all the late night workouts, text messages, and phone calls paid off.
And the Liberty Flames have won the Big South Championship.
And just like all the times before, Brittany and her father would have a post-game phone call.
Oh, he was so excited. Just told me how proud he was and that we deserve it and you deserve it, and he just, so much love. It was really exciting.
But on December 8, 2013, Brittany received multiple messages to call home. She called her aunt immediately.
I just always remember these words. She's like, I'm sorry, sweetie, your dad had a heart attack and he didn't make it. I just remember screaming, no, no, and I didn't understand it. He was so fit. Earlier that day, he coached a soccer game, and I just cried, and my best friends came, Holly and Becca, and they just sat with me, and we cried.
One of the only things I really felt like I could do was just be there for her and be a listening ear and just a comforter.
Brittany would soon be on her way home to her father's funeral, with one of her best friends and members of the Liberty Women's Soccer coaching staff by her side.
Going home with her and being able to, experience the whole thing with her was really helpful, because then, as we came back to Lynchburg, I was able to understand, because I had seen her go through the whole grieving process.
Just impossible to know what to say. What my wife and I did is we just opened our home. Brittany was living on campus at the time, and we just said, look, do you want to come over? Do you want to get off campus? Do you just want to come to a home, a place?
Our God is our sustainer. He's perfect, and so nothing that happens in my life is going to change who he is. Just because I don't understand it doesn't mean that my God changes. It doesn't. I felt that peace, that it was just in God's hands, and it was because my dad really spoke that truth into me.
As time passes, Brittany reflects on the passing of her father and their special father-daughter walks.
Oh, the walks were so special because I just feel like we had a bond that I didn't really have with anyone else in my family, and I could open up with him. A lot of my growing in Jesus was on those walks, and we'd talk about it so much, and he was just so smart. That's what he studied. I just grew a lot in my walk with Christ, on my walks with my dad, which is really awesome. I talked about Jesus and soccer, really.
Brittany says through the years her father used soccer as a platform to share the love of Jesus Christ, and he loved his players like they were his own children.
One of the last walks I had with my dad, he was telling me, Brittany, I just don't feel like I'm doing enough. I don't feel like I'm touching many lives. And I was like, Dad, do you realize how many people you come in contact with a day? His students and people he trained and his players. And he's like, yeah, I guess you're right. And so to see the funeral where there's over 600 people there, just goes to show you what an impact he had. And it just humbles me to think that he had no idea. He had no idea the impact he was making. And that inspires me. It inspires me to want to do something more, to love like he loved. It just teaches me so much, and he's just such an amazing example of Christ.